Once upon a time, in the great wide sky, there was a little prince who lived on a small planet. His planet was no bigger than a house. It had 3 tiny volcanoes, some grass, and one very special flower. This flower was the most beautiful thing the little prince had ever seen. It had soft red petals and a lovely smell. The little prince loved his flower very much, but the flower was proud. She often spoke in a way that made the little prince feel sad. One day, the little prince decided to leave his planet and travel to different places. He wanted to learn new things, meet new people, and understand life better. So, he cleaned his little planet, pulled out the bad plants, and said goodbye to his flower. "I don't want you to go," said the flower. "I love you." The little prince was surprised. The flower had never said this before. He felt a deep warmth in his heart. "I love you too," he said, "but I must go and see the world." The flower sighed. "Go, but remember, I will be here, waiting for you." With that, the little prince traveled to many different planets. On the first planet, he met a king. The king sat on a large throne and wore a big golden crown. "Ah, a visitor," the king said. "I am the ruler of everything." "But you rule only this small planet," said the little prince. "I rule everything I see," said the king. "Watch." He lifted his hand. "I order the sun to set." The sun did not move. "It will set later," the king said. "But that means I still have power." The little prince thought this was silly. A real king should help others, not just give orders. So he said goodbye and left. On the next planet, he met a man who loved to hear people say nice things about him. "Ah, another visitor," the man said. "Tell me, do you think I am the most handsome man?" "I don't know," said the little prince. "Why does it matter?" "Because I want everyone to love me," the man said. "But love is not about words. It is about what you do," said the little prince. The man did not understand, so the little prince left. On the next planet, he met a businessman who counted stars. 1, 2, 3, 4. "I have so many stars," the businessman said. "What do you do with them?" the little prince asked. "I own them," the businessman said. "But what is the use of owning stars?" the little prince asked. "It makes me rich," the businessman said. "But are you happy?" The businessman did not answer. The little prince sighed and moved on. On the next planet, he met a lamplighter. The lamplighter had to turn the lamp on and off every few seconds. "Why do you do this?" asked the little prince. "I have to follow orders," said the lamplighter. "But your planet is so small." "You do not need a lamp," said the little prince. "I must obey," said the lamplighter, looking tired. The little prince felt sad for him. He respected the lamplighter because he worked hard, but he wished the man could rest. After visiting more planets, the little prince finally reached Earth. He landed in a vast desert. There he met a wise fox. "Who are you?" asked the little prince. "I am a fox," said the animal. "Do you want to play with me?" the little prince asked. "I cannot," said the fox. "I am not tamed." "What does tamed mean?" asked the little prince. "It means making a bond," the fox said, "If you tame me, we will become special to each other." The little prince wanted to understand, so he spent time with the fox. Every day, he sat a little closer. He spoke softly, and soon the fox's eyes shined with happiness whenever the little prince came. One day, the fox said, "Now you have tamed me. You are special to me, and I am special to you." The little prince felt happy, but also sad. "I must go," he said. The fox sighed. "I will cry." "It's your fault," the little prince said. "You asked me to tame you." "Yes," said the fox, "but it was worth it. You see, when you love something, it changes the way you see the world. Look at the roses in that garden. To others, they are just flowers. But to you, your rose is special because you have cared for her." The little prince understood. He thought of his flower. He missed her. "Here's my secret," said the fox. "It is very simple. You can only see the most important things with your heart. The eyes cannot see them." The little prince repeated these words softly. Only with the heart can one see rightly. Before he left, the fox gave him one last lesson. You are responsible for what you tame. You are responsible for your flower. The pilot sat in the quiet desert, looking up at the stars. His heart was full of memories, full of emotions, full of something he had not felt in a long time. He thought about the little prince's words. "When you look at the stars, think of me. I will be laughing among them." And for the first time in his life, the stars did not seem cold or far away. They felt alive, warm, and full of laughter. He smiled, though a tear rolled down his cheek. Days passed, then weeks, then years. The pilot fixed his plane and returned home. He went back to the busy world of grown-ups, where people rushed from one thing to another, never stopping to truly see. But the pilot was different now. He remembered the lessons of the little prince. He did not chase numbers like the businessman. He did not seek empty praise like the vain man. He did not try to control everything like the king. Instead, he chose to love, to care, to look with his heart. Sometimes at night, he would stand outside and look at the sky. He would listen carefully, and in the twinkling of the stars, he could almost hear it, soft, distant laughter. The laughter of the little prince. And what about the little prince? Did he return to his planet? Was his flower still waiting for him? The pilot never knew for sure, but in his heart he believed. He believed that somewhere, far beyond the stars, on a tiny planet no bigger than a house, a golden-haired boy was sitting next to a red flower, smiling as he watched the sun set. And maybe, just maybe, if we close our eyes and listen carefully, we can hear the laughter too. Because the little prince is not just a story. He is a reminder to love, to care, and to never forget the simple, beautiful things in life. Now, dear listener, let me ask you, have you ever looked at the stars and felt something special? Have you ever loved someone deeply, even when they were far away? Have you ever remembered a lesson that changed your heart forever? If you have, then you understand. This is not just a story. This is a truth hidden in the heart of every child, every dreamer, every person who dares to see the world differently. So, as you go back to your life, take a moment. Look at the stars. Remember the little prince. And most importantly, listen to your heart because it knows the things that truly matter. And if this story touched your heart, if it made you feel something deep inside, then show your love. Like this, subscribe, and stay with us for more beautiful stories that make us think, feel, and remember what is truly important. Because in the end, just like the little prince, we are all searching for something real. And sometimes all we need to do is look with our hearts.